Welcome back, RTFers. It is another week of the RTF Show. I'm your host, Michael Rose, here with Brother John. What up, Brother John?
Hello, everyone. It's good to be back for another week. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of moves made. Couple big winners, couple big losers. An exciting week 5 coming up.
Yeah. Couple big losers to be sure. I'm here in my AYSO soccer jersey from when I was about 14. Because I feel like an amateur playing this game because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I might as well be playing youth sports at this point.
A little pee-wee football, eh?
Chasing the fucking, well, I could never get mom to sign the Pee Wee football permission slip, so that was never going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's run through some things. I'm gonna keep my voice down. I got a sick wife in the next room, so I'll be subtle, sweet tones. My voice will be nice and low today. All right. First things first. Kelly won the pick'em pool. I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy for folks in 2022 that don't check their fucking email. It's pretty simple. You click on it on your phone or on a computer. You
100%.
see the emails. You see an email that says, pretty clearly that something needs to be done soon, and you do it. So I'm not gonna, we're not reversing anything. And guess what? In that includes you dumbass, John.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
You sent the email.
I think quite literally, like after we recorded last week, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it right now. No, wait, I want to see whether Tua plays, and then choose, who might win. Whatever. I think it was Kelly's matchup, and then just completely forgot about it. And that's on me. I did not advocate for moving it. I took the L like an adult, unlike certain youths here. But I do agree. If we don't have the best email to reach you at, please provide another email address. Otherwise, I'm not gonna fucking woof you like what's his name, BJ Novak in The Office. Like, I'm not gonna. We don't need to send it out on every fucking medium. To let you know, I'm not gonna reach you on Instagram. I'm not gonna create a TikTok for this.
We set up a fucking Slack channel for this league. Is that what we need to do?
Yeah. Do we need to do a discourse? Do we need to do like what do you want? A fax? Like,
it's check your emails. So Kelly won. Congratulations to Kelly. Very, very happy for her. $25 in her pocket. Next thing to address. GoffGate. We're gonna get into it here. The intricacies of how the waiver wire works, and why it is the way that it is, and what we're doing to change it. So, as you all know, waivers clear every day of the week, generally, except for Tuesdays. The idea being that you could pick up somebody on a Sunday who was playing on Monday. However, it appears what's happening is people are able to pick up folks that have already played and pick them up for next week. So you can pick up somebody on waivers on Monday that played on Sunday. They won't appear on your roster until Tuesday, but they will have been picked up. And I don't think that's the best practice. And, for a couple of reasons. One, you want to give people until the end of the playing week, which is Monday night, to assess whether or not they need to pick up anybody for the next week. somebody could get hurt on your team in a Monday night game, and that would necessitate you picking up somebody that played on Sunday. So for that reason, we're going to make some changes. You want to talk about those?
Yep. So, okay. So we're not going to allow waivers to run on Monday anymore. And so, if someone puts in a waiver, so for someone who's already played on Sunday night, Monday night, or Tuesday night, it will then run Wednesday night. So everyone has the same amount of time to evaluate their team's needs, which, also include, if a player like Cordell Patterson all of a sudden lands on IR the next day after playing a full game on Sunday, and then all of a sudden just goes on IR, that team manager would have the same amount of time and same ability to put in a waiver claim for whomever is necessary. So we'll do that. And then for players that are to be played on Monday, please text Mike or I, or group me us, or woof us, or Slack us, or email us anytime.
Send a fucking carrier pigeon. I don't care.
However it gets to us, please send a telegram if you would like. Telegram for Mongo. Telegram for Mongo. However it is on Sunday before midnight Pacific time, please do so, and then we will make those adjustments.
So
if you're playing Mike, send it to me. If you're playing me, send it to Mike.
Sure.
Also, just say, hey, I'm putting in a waiver claim for this person, and then like trying to figure out how to do it most fairly, right? So like,
so I think the most fair way to do this is, yes, please notify us of who you want to pick up. You can send us the amount of money you want to spend on them. That's fine. Or you don't have to. If you don't send the amount of money, we're going to assume it's $1. Send us who you want to pick up. If two people send us the same player or the same defense, we will let those two people know that somebody else has bid on the team or on that player. You then have one opportunity to send a bid, basically. You can tell us, okay, somebody else is in on this. I want to bid $4. I want to bid $3. Whoever is the higher bid is who gets the player. You can then bid on another player if you don't get them. But I think that's the fairest way to make this work. We will be as open and transparent with the process as possible. And next year, we will look at ways to make this more efficient and less, quite frankly, less work for us to kind of, put this back on the platform instead of on the commissioners.
Yep. So,
okay.
If we didn't go back and confirm. I believe, we've had this issue with players playing on Monday night.
We didn't need to go back and confirm because Kelly did it for us.
well, I don't think, it was talked about as being on a Monday for a Monday night player, but this picking up a player who's already played, I'm not sure if that's been done, or, I don't think there was confirmation of that. But
yeah,
since we haven't either done that or reversed a waiver bid at that point, then we're not going to do that for Goff. We can hate Peter Kramer more than we already do. That's possible. You can increase your level of dislike for that person.
I mean, you know what? I got to be honest. I know Jared Goff is like the number 5 quarterback right now, and that offense looks a lot better than people expected. He's Jared fucking Goff. The rebound is coming. The crash back to reality is coming. So we'll see. I don't know. All right, let's move on. Quick Survivor update before we get to the waiver wire pickups for this week, because there was a lot of news there. Charlie, welcome. You've been kicked off the island. You are now in the boat, headed back to the mainland. We'll see you there, buddy. I'm there. Steve's there, Ken's there. Good crew back in the mainland.
Strong crew there.
Just chilling, having a couple beers, having a good time. And Charlie, bring some of your beer. We all three of us, I believe, enjoy a delicious craft beverage. So
I'm sure Ken's excited to see you.
Of course, it should be entertaining. All right, let's get to this week's waiver wire pickups.
Ooh, yeah, this was a juicy week for waiver wire pickups. I was excited when I opened the app this morning. I was like, wow, let's go.
It
Money
was
out
an
the door.
Agreed. It was an exciting week. Let me pull it up here and throw it up on the screen. We had a lot of activity. So a lot of, multiple bids for guys. Two big multiple bids for guys. Let's start at the top. Big one, Mike Boone. So Josh loses Javonte Williams. Big loss for Josh in multiple formats. Josh had a lot of Javonte stock this year. But he rectified that by picking up Mike Boone. The other, we'll just kind of lay it all out and then we can talk about it. Sound good?
Well, it's important to note, right now, the starting running back for Denver is Melvin Gordon,
Sure.
that we know of. And that is on Melvin's on Barbecue Sprite, Bill's team. So this is really, this is a little bit wider scope, involves at least Bill as well. So
yep.
So now we're bidding on backup running backs here.
Sure. We'll get into that. So Josh bid $18 on Mike Boone to clear waivers for him, or not clear waivers, to grab him off waivers. I bid $16. It was the next highest bid. And then we had a bid of $5 from Kelly, $3 from you. The other player on Denver that was bid on and taken by me, way too much apparently, was Latavius Murray, who was signed by Denver, I believe, 2 days ago. And
off the practice squad, snatched him up from the Saints, which was pretty baller move, I must say.
I got him for $17. Turned out to be a little bit high. And Portugal Ken bid $6 for the next highest offer. John, you have the floor. I was involved in this, so I'll save my comments. But what are your thoughts on what went down in the waiver wire this week?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. A lot of money getting thrown around, which I'm supportive of, right? Like, I think the more people spend their fab, the better it is for everyone else who hasn't spent all their fab. But yeah, Melvin Gordon obviously knows the offense better than all three. Is also, I think, might be the oldest. I don't want to speak. He feels like the oldest, although Latavius Murray.
You want to speak ill of the dead?
He's not looked great this year, but
I'm fairly certain that Latavius Murray is older than Melvin Gordon. Latavius Murray is 32. Melvin Gordon is 29.
Yep. So Latavius Murray, you had Cordell Patterson doing incredible things at the same age so far this season. RIP to him. But Murray looked really good on Sunday. So Boone, Young, I think they hand the ball off to the more experienced player before they go to the rookie there, and Boone and Murray could outplay Gordon quite easily for that starting role. So I personally thought Murray was probably the way to go there on that. So what I do want to ask though is, you know, what happened if you won the Boone bid? Did you have both set up so it, like, if one not the other, or were you going to get both of them?
No,
Were
I
you
was
willing to
only
get both?
I was only ever going to get one of them, and honestly, I bid $16 on Boone, knowing I probably was not going to get him. I thought there was going to be a little bit more of competitive bidding on Boone. I didn't think he'd go for 18. I thought he would go for like 21, $22.
Yeah.
And so I figured I'd bid a little bit higher on Latavius Murray, trying to get him. I like Latavius Murray in this offense. He has a history of holding on to the football, something that Melvin Gordon has struggled with, quite frankly, and also looked fantastic very recently. So I really think also that this is not going to be Melvin Gordon's backfield. I just don't see Melvin Gordon as somebody who, at this stage in his career, is going to be turned into a, bell cow back. He hasn't been that in a long time, and Denver doesn't seem to have much of an appetite for doing that. So I think whoever wins out the role between Murray and Boone is gonna be be in a timeshare with, and as much as I'm not very excited about having another back that's in a timeshare, I think Murray is the guy that's going to be in that timeshare.
Yep. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see.
We'll see. Maybe Boone is the long-term pick. If Boone plays well, maybe later in the season, he's the guy that picks it up. But I think out of the gate, we're going to see more Murray that people are expecting.
Yeah, I think it's quite possible there for sure. Obviously Javonte Williams going down is a huge loss for Josh, and has implications going into next season too, which is unfortunate. You just never know in these situations where you had what appears to be a top 5 to top 10 running back in the league for years to come, who's now dealing with an ACL injury. And then, what do they do? What does Denver do going forward? Do they bring someone in? Does Boone look so good that now they're looking at, yet again, another two-headed running attack next year? So very unfortunate for Josh, coming off of the championship season, obviously, to now be dealing with that. He did have Atlanta's Algier on his bench already, which,
Algier had a good game.
Yeah, he vaults into a starting role there. Still might be a bit more of a timeshare, but it's not all a loss for Josh. I think he's got some moves to make. He obviously still has a crap ton of rookies on his team, rookie running backs on his team. So I think if even one of those hits, he'll be all right. And then hopefully David Montgomery comes back for him strong, and he could still be looking at a great starting lineup there. So if he can weather the storm here for a few weeks, he's still 3-1 right now. So I think Josh has some opportunity there. Am I looking at the right team?
Yeah, I pulled up Josh.
Sorry.
He's got a ton of rookie running backs, and
he has DeAndre Swift still. So I mean, the guy is stacked at running back. So
well, he ought to be.
There's so many running backs that I didn't even see DeAndre Swift sitting on his bench. That was like, this is ridiculous.
Josh has, I believe, rostered most running backs in the league. He's got 8 on his roster. So he's only got 1 wide receiver on his bench at this point. He's got 4 wide receivers and 8 running backs on his roster. So Okay.
Yeah, it's incredible. And you know what? That's all thanks to Ken, who petitioned to have roster position limits removed. So
Yeah, that is true.
thanks, Ken.
All right. Anything else on the waiver wire you want to hit real quick? Were you surprised
No.
nobody else bid on Devin Duvernay?
Yeah, come on, guys. He's been great. And that's more just an insurance thing. It sounds like Bateman might not be able to play. He injured his foot and didn't come back at the end of last game, and so Duvernay becomes their wide receiver 1, or really wide receiver 2 after Mark Andrews. But yeah, I'm hurting. I'd much rather play Duvernay than Darnell Mooney or Juju at this point. So
yeah,
it's
yeah. I mean, I think the part of the problem is it's just a wide receiver rich environment right now for most folks.
There's no need to drop position. But
all right. So we're gonna do we're gonna run through this pretty quickly. I'm gonna keep it moving, but I went through the standings and came away with 3 tiers of teams, and so I'm gonna just list them to John, and then let him sort of react to the tiers and see what he thinks. So John, do you want to start? I've got, it's a little, I couldn't quite make 4, 4, and 4 work. So I've got 3, 4, and 5. Do you want to start in the bottom, the top, or the middle?
Give me the bottom. Give me the bottom.
The bottom. Okay. Bottom of the league is the biggest.
Oh, really? See, I thought you were 3 at the bottom, 4, then 5. I was like, oh, wow.
No.
No, 5's the bottom. All right. I like that.
The bottom of the league is the biggest. So at the bottom of the league, I've got the following teams. This is the hopeless division. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're hopeless. Obviously, it's early in the season. We're almost a third of the way through the season. But these are the teams that need a lot of work at the moment, which includes myself, the Decatur Staleys, Charlie, football and stuff. Are we on track with those 2 so far?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless, yeah. I'm ranking them in my head here. I'm ranking them in my head there.
Okay. Then we got Bill.
Okay.
Barbecue Sprite. Alec, TBD.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is Steve, the Blue Barracudas. Those are in no particular order, just
For
the
sure.
order in which I wrote them down. So the hopeless tier, the third tier, I've got myself, Steve, Charlie, Bill, and Alec. Anybody strikes you as should not be in that tier?
Not in that tier. It's tough because I think I'm trying to take into account not only past performance, but future performance, right? Where for you've had a lot of injuries, so it's hard for me to say yes. Like you are in that lower tier. Obviously, you're 1 and 3 and you've put up very few points. And so some of the lowest, I think the
lowest in the league.
So
Charlie and
yeah,
right at the bottom.
Yeah. So I mean, that point, past performance, kind of outweighs what you currently have. But obviously with Keenan Allen, hopefully coming back this week, like we're gonna see a big explosion of offense from the Chargers.
He did not practice today, so not optimistic.
And same thing with Gabe Davis. That looked really promising. And then Deontay Johnson. I mean, he's still that number one wide receiver right there. So I think unfortunately your running back situation is so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's holding me back there. You listed these wide receivers, but wide receivers not the issue on my team.
No,
it is running back, which is the issue.
And I think similar with similar with Bill here. Like Bill, yeah, he is. I think past performance certainly outweighs future potential there. I mean, Melvin Gordon maybe elevates his running back squad. I mean, he's got Sanders, who's seems to be playing above his status, but his wide receiver core is absolutely abysmal. And unless he actually capitalizes on Miles Sanders current production and maybe makes a trade for a better wide receiver, I don't see there being enough. So yeah, I think Bill's, you're right. Bill's right there. Moving on to Alec. Yeah, TBD's a pretty good name for him right now. I think this is the second time he's had a insert name here or TBD going on. He's got a lot of studs, but yeah, Derrick Henry's put up 2 huge stinkers of a game. Josh Jacobs is actually like 5th in running back yards so far in the season. Yep. But again, his wide receiver core is not great. Yep. I don't think you're going to get by with Cooper and Christian Kirk there. Just Jacoby Brissett and Trevor Lawrence tossing those footballs, and Marcus Mariota for Drake London isn't really who you want throwing a football. So I think you got to leave him there. And then Steve, I think Steve is the one that might not be the right.
We'll put a pin in Steve. There. Put a pin in Steve, and let's. You agree, Charlie, in the lower tier?
At this point, he hasn't made a move yet. He's got a couple big hitters. But yeah, James Conner and Zeke just haven't played to their level yet. James Conner I thought was going to be a lot better coming into the season, and he's had some very down games. But if you're starting Marvin Jones and Corey Davis,
you're fucked.
Yeah, that could be the 2 worst starting running. That could be the worst wide receiver duo that I've mentioned in the last 4 minutes.
I mean, it could be the 2 worst starting wide receivers in league history. It's pretty bad. All right. Yeah. Let's move into, we're going to put a pin in Steve. We'll come back to him real quick. Let's move into the championship hopeful tier. Yeah. This is the second tier in which I've got, and obviously the third tier will be revealed. The highest tier is going to be revealed as I reveal this tier. But Steve, I was kind of teetering back and forth on here. But I've got in the second tier, Ken, Kelly, Josh, and John.
Yeah, honestly, I do think that's kind of right. With Ken, I think starting from the top there, I mean, Ken's pessimistic attitude on the whole season, wants me to push him down into the lowest tier, but he's put up 400 points on the season. He's on a 2-game win streak. And he just beat the Mecca Peter, right? And so
that's got to count for something.
That's a few points there for sure. And it's amazing. He went out and did the his draft playbook was straight out of Charlie's. Went out and got the big names, the Mark Andrews, the Aaron Rodgers, completely just ripped Charlie off there with Aaron Rodgers, and got a couple big guys. And He's getting good gains out of them, and he's got a chance here. I mean, he's very boomer bust, right? If Mike Williams goes off, great. If not, he's getting 5 points from him. Same thing with DK Metcalf, and Mixon has underproduced so far. So we could see a couple good games out of him, out of Ken here. And
Ken, and I'll be honest, these are the 3 teams that I teetered on in this tier. And, there were 2 solids that I wanted to put in this tier. One was Kelly. I like Kelly's team. I think she's firmly in this kind of middle tier. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think coming back this week, hopefully, huge, just having a monster season. Cortland Sutton, another guy that seems to be like the guy in Denver, Cortland Sutton. And
for sure.
In terms of a running back situation, Dalvin Cook isn't quite Dalvin Cook anymore, but I think Dalvin Cook is a serviceable, especially in the running back landscape that we're living in this year. Dalvin Cook's a serviceable running back. So
he's just missing touchdowns at the moment. He puts up one more touchdown, whether in week 1 or week 2 or week 4, and he's right in that discussion. The nice part is she's got Madison sitting right there. If Cook ends up going down, which I do think, she's got Hopkins who will come back, right? And so, and then, Elijah Moore, still a phenomenal wide receiver, and maybe the Jets start to figure that out. And so then Kelly's going to be sitting on quite a few great wide receivers. And, if Elijah Mitchell ends up coming back, she's got a team there that can compete, and a couple tight ends that, she chooses correctly will produce. So, I think solidly there. Yes, for sure.
I put solidly there. Josh, I debated on and ended up putting solidly in that group. I think Josh has a lot of his team's got a lot of potential. He's taken some big hits. We went over Josh's team earlier in this, but I think Josh's team rebounds. So I don't want to spend too much time on Josh's team. Your team, Steve's team, and Ken's team, I kind of had in this bunch, trying to figure out where to put them. And ultimately settled on bumping Steve down to the hopeless, the 3rd tier, you and Ken leaving in that middle tier. So what do you think in terms of, would you change that? Would you move yourself down to the hopeless tier and put Steve up? Would you move Ken down? Would you just make...
Yeah, Ken's hopeless anyway, but Steve, Steve and I have scored almost the exact same amount of points. He has just ran into multiple buzzsaws at this point, and I've gotten very lucky as far as how many points scored. I think the second lowest from what I'm seeing. And so, it could very easily be an inverse in our standings there, or our win losses there. If the schedule is different, I think, Steve's got a great team. If you click into it, I think there's, he's putting up points, getting unlucky. I think paying up for Tom Brady, a smart move. I think Tom Brady is going to go on a bit of a tear here, assuming he stays healthy. And then he's had some underperforming people. His biggest issue right now is going to be running back, with really just pushing McCaffrey there to sustain him.
I don't know. Ramondre Stevenson has looked good. Paul Williams has looked good, and depending on what happens with Swift, I feel like he's in a good spot there. I think the big thing for me is just Jamar Chase has to turn it around, right? And if Jamar Chase can turn it around, he's getting triple teamed, double teamed on every play. T. Higgins has jumped off, and if Jamar Chase can kind of even the playing field there, and T. Higgins can draw some defenders back over to his side of the field, this could be he could be really well suited, I think, to have a really strong second half.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
but
if DJ Moore ever comes to life, then maybe, but at the same time, no, like,
yeah,
there's a lot of people that need to play back up to where they are, and maybe play a little bit above that, or where they should be, and then a little bit above that. So
agreed. That's the optimistic look at Steve's team. All right.
Yep. Myself, I mean, I'm in that. I think I'm solidly in there. I mean, Kamara has still only put up 12 fucking points on the entire season. So yeah, I mean, if I can have Kamara come back, then I'm very happy where I'm at. And if Bateman gets healthy, and so otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's not
so. Yeah,
not super excited about the situation that I'm in, but
you are in desperate need of a wide receiver to help figure things out. Kamara, I think you have to just trust that Kamara is going to bounce back at some point, because I mean, honestly, yeah, if Kamara doesn't bounce back, your team is not going anywhere. You're relying on him to be the, one of the big hitters on your team. Paid $60 fucking for
me.
Yeah. So if he doesn't do it, you're not doing it. But with that said, if Kamara does bounce back, and Saquon having the year that he's having, an incredible year thus far, I think if you can figure out your next wide receiver, right? If you can figure out that second wide receiver, that third wide receiver, you get a chance to do something here. That's the
and for me, like, it's still early.
Is it Bateman? I'm not sure.
If Bateman gets healthy, I mean, he's looked decent so far, but just not that many targets, right? From like 4 to 7 targets a game isn't enough, right? So,
who in the fuck did you drop to pick up Devin Duvernay if it wasn't Justin Fields?
Oh, Mac Hollins.
Why is Justin Fields on your team?
I believe, man. I believe.
Oh my God, get the fuck out of here, dude.
I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
Have you not been watching the Bears games?
He had 174 yards of passing last week.
I guess you live in Portland, so it's pretty early, but I don't know.
We don't get a lot of Bears games out here,
Yeah.
But
oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, I dropped Mac Hollins. It was whatever.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, if a couple guys figure it out, I mean, Smith-Schuster still has an opportunity to become an actual wide receiver one in Kansas City, but until he puts up back-to-back games with actual with solid production, then I'm not gonna trust him. But yeah, anyway, I'm on that bubble there. Anyway,
Okay.
I think you're right. I think maybe that middle tier is a little bit more than the bottom tier. But
okay. So you think it should have maybe been 5 teams in the middle tier, 4 teams in the bottom tier.
I mean, we might even have a couple of teams in the top tier that, or at least one team in the top tier that might move down. But
no. Here we go. So this is the top tier. Kramer, whose team we're not going to talk about. Fitz, whose team we did talk quite a bit about last week.
He wanted more.
And we'll mention briefly here. And then the third team, I think the surprise team that we had initially in the preseason pod as a contender, and then kind of talked ourselves out of it, is the Alpha Peters. And that's where I want to start, with Sullivan's team. So I was going through Sullivan's team, and it all kind of clicked to me that this makes a lot of sense right now. He doesn't have a bench. His bench fucking sucks. So it's really thin. He's got one backup at each position, right? He's got one backup at running back. He's got one backup at wide receiver, essentially. So if somebody gets hurt, he's kind of fucked. Maybe two backups at wide receiver. But if health remains, and I'm not projecting for injuries here, I think Sullivan's got a fucking really good team that has a real shot at doing something. T. Higgins has been playing out of his goddamn mind. Devontae Adams.
Who do you bench? Who do you bench there? I mean,
I
would bench Terry McLaurin, or I would, yeah.
Me too. I assume Sullivan's gonna move fucking T. Higgins into Terry McLaurin's spot because that's crazy. Maybe he's worried about the injury tag at this point. But in either case, Devontae Adams, I'm not ranking. I'm ranking these based on rosters, not the owner's ability to set a lineup. So, just in terms of top end talent, Austin Eckler, fantastic running back, looked great last week, and we should expect to look great continuing going forward this season. Devin Singletary, it appears Buffalo has decided he's the guy. And
is he though? I mean, like, they don't run enough.
What do you mean?
They don't run enough for him to be like, he's gonna get passing, some passing work, sure. But 8 attempts, 6 attempts, 9 attempts, 11 attempts.
Yeah, but nobody else. It's not like anybody else is really getting those attempts.
It's still early though in the season. I think that they turned to Cook or
I don't know. We can ask our resident Bills expert.
I'm not nearly as sold on Devin Singletary as.
So I'm sold on him being a running back 2. I think he can be just fine as a running back 2. In
3 seasons ago, he's never put up more than 870 yards.
But he doesn't need to. I guess what I'm saying is he's got enough upside as a receiving back to be a serviceable number 2 running back on the team.
I mean, he's already
and then on the bench he's got on his bench he's got Damian Harris, who also could be a serviceable number 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm higher on Harris than I am on Singletary.
So I guess my point is, I think the collection of wide receiver talent is. And then the combination of that with Austin Eckler makes this a championship contender. Because if you're telling me that a team that's starting Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, T. Higgins, and Austin Eckler every week doesn't have a shot at winning the championship, I don't know what team does have a shot at winning the championship. So that's why I put them in the championship.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I mean, because you'd want him to make a move, right? Let's say, like Tua's looked great so far this season. He's going to be out, though. I mean, he's sort of looked great. Now looking at his points, like 14, 40, 11, and then getting knocked out and just having 2. Not like all that. Like, those are fine numbers, I guess, but like not great. And then you're looking at Hunter Henry and Cole Kmet as your tight ends. Look at Hunter Henry's numbers.
They're terrible.
3 points is his most there, and it's only going to get worse with the backup quarterback in there. And Cole Kmet is been one of the biggest busts of the season. The issue is that he can't go out and make a trade unless he gives up a Terry McLaurin, Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin or T. Higgins. Like, he's got to give up one of those players to get a decent tight end back, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe Damian Harris, but then he's got no.
Or maybe he finds a week-to-week tight end on the waiver wire. I guess the tinkering around the edges, I agree with you. But maybe
Yeah.
we should save that. And actually, I'm going to say we save the next two teams till next week because we're at 45 minutes right now. And I wasn't going to let this go longer than 40.
Yeah, that's fine. We've talked a lot about the other two teams already. So
yes, we have.
Yeah,
Peter's
yeah.
team has gotten a lot of coverage. Fitz's team got a lot of coverage last week. We know that they're both great teams. They both got a lot of upside to them. Peter Kramer is leading the league, obviously, in points far and away. And Fitz is just riding the Cooper Cup Lamar Jackson gravy train at this point. So
Yeah.
we'll see, but we'll come back to that maybe next week. What we should do, maybe we get a guest on for this, is some fake trades.
Yeah, fake trades. I'd also love to see the power rankings come back. We should
well, we'll do we should do a power rankings pod for sure.
maybe week 7 or something. But
yeah, but maybe we do some fake trades next week. So if somebody wants to come on and talk fake trades, let us know in the show or in the show review. Anything we missed?
I mean, if you do want to come on, just with us, please.
Yep.
And then,
Please do.
We'll
Send a certified mail. Use the U.S. Postal Service.
They need the money, please.
Yep. Buy a stamp, motherfuckers. All right. We'll see you next week on the RTF Show.
GoffGate.